Oh hey, I'm just on a ride through Golden Gate Park and I thought I'd take a second to talk about my proto PBJ that I've been riding around. PBJ stands for Performance Basket Jammer, and when I designed this bike I was thinking a lot of the feeling I got riding old mountain bikes that I would fix up and put a basket on and use to ride around town. I think even though sometimes those bikes you would build up super cheap, they ended up being the bike that you were on most often. So they went on a lot of spontaneous adventures, and somehow they always end up being just the right bike for the job because it's the bike you're on more often than not. So I really wanted to make a bike that felt like that, but was really performance oriented. So this bike is made out of super nice chromoly steel, all double butted all the way around, and they actually build up super light. So this one I made in my shop in Oakland, California, but we have samples coming from the factory in Taiwan and it will be available as a production bike early 2025. The PBJ is a model that I've been making for, 4 or 5 years now, and really it's a touring bike is what I was aiming for when I first designed it. But I ended up using my own as sort of my daily commute around Bozeman when I was living there. Lots of trails in between town, and for like longer cross-country type rides, it was a lot of fun as well. And one cool thing about the PBJ is you can run the rigid fork that it'll ship with or that I build for them, or you can also run a 100mm suspension fork, which is a lot of fun. And in that mode, it is a full-on mountain bike. It has a little bit of a lower bottom bracket, which is part of the design of the touring thing, but that also makes it super fun as a mountain bike, which is cool. Here you can see that the frame uses adjustable dropouts, which is nice because it makes it really easy to run the bike single speed if you want, or you can run a shorter or longer wheelbase. Also, you can swap out the inserts for, say, a UDH style dropout to run the SRAM transmission stuff, or just makes it easy and modular, which is nice. We've got internal routing for the dropper post up the seat tube, so almost all external routing for the whole bike except for that little bit, which makes working on your bike easier, less friction in the shifting and stuff like that. Lots of rack mounts on the rear end. We've got 2 on the outside, top and bottom, and then we have 1 in the middle on the inside of the stays for a bag support. And the project I'm working on is a rack that'll work on all the frames I make, so that spacing of the bosses is standardized. I really like a rack for touring. The fork I designed is super cool. I made these dropouts and brake mount that are really fun. It's going to come 180mm post mount because I don't think you should be running a smaller rotor than 180 on a bike like this. You can also see we have the pass and stow rack on there, and that's sort of the layout for bosses with cargo cages, rack mount, bag support mount. And that's 110 by 15 through axle, so easy to swap out with whatever your mountain bike wheels are. I've built these bikes up with so many different handlebars over the years, but always wanted something a little sweepier. When you're touring, I don't particularly love touring on a flat bar. I like to be upright, which is nice, but most mountain bike bars are a little too straight for me. I like some sweep for ergonomics and comfort. So after years, I finally have my own made, and the PBJ bar will be coming out in just a few weeks here, so beginning of September 24 when I'm making this video. The PBJ bar has 40mm of rise and comes in at 795mm, but you could cut it down as short as 725 if you want. It has 28 degrees of back sweep, which for me is about as much sweep as you can get while still having good control in technical terrain. Here's what it looks like when you're riding them. This bike has probably been my favorite Bay Area bike since I moved to San Francisco, and that's because you go across the bridge to Marin, and there's a lot of good road, kind of double track dirt road climbs that the rigid bike makes it really nice for. And as soon as you start going down, there's some like ruddy stuff where you can get on actual trails, and none of them really require suspension. Like I ride my gravel bike on them often, but with the rigid mountain bike, it makes it a lot more fun. So it has almost all of the climbing prowess of a chunky gravel bike, but when you start going downhill, you really notice that it is a mountain bike, which is pretty nice. It's also been my bike for the couple little overnighters I've done here. Yeah, I love the PBJ, and I'm probably talking about this bike too soon. Right now, for production, they are being sampled, which means I'll have samples in a couple months, and if everything looks good, I get to hit go on it. And then from that time until they actually land here and are available, it's another 6 months. So I want to be careful about what I'm talking about, but I'm not doing that. So appreciate everyone's enthusiasm for them, and they're coming as soon as I possibly can. But yeah, excited to get them out into the world. It's a really, really fun bike. So thanks for checking out mine. Thanks for watching this YouTube video. You can see more about the PBJ. All the specs are out at sklar.com on the page there. And if you subscribe to the newsletter, those people will find out first about when the pre-order is happening, all that. So thanks for watching.